April 30th, 2025 at exactly 6:39 a.m. at the Parliament building. On the fateful day, the MP was assassinated. Ongondo can be seen casually dressed in a reddish jersey with a Kenyan label on the front, black and white strip pants and black shoes, arriving at the Bunge Towers aboard motor vehicle registration number KDD 244V. The MP alights and the driver followed him closely while carrying his belongings. Investigators say he was going to the gym, a personal ritual he used to do before business of the day. According to the CCTV, the MP's vehicle spent approximately 10 minutes at the Bunge Towers. The vehicle KDD 244V exited Bunge Towers at 6:48 a.m. At this point, his driver Walter Owino left alone and drove back to their home in Karen. The MP had instructed his driver to return the V8 to Karen and leave it there. He then gave further directions for the driver to pick up his son's car, KDM 783A, which is a Toyota Crown. It is in this vehicle that Ongondo will later be shot dead. Did he fear for his life that morning, prompting him to switch vehicles and use his son's car? The MP's driver returned to Parliament at 8:37 a.m., driving a white Toyota Crown into Bunge Towers and parking at Ukulima grounds, unaware that beyond the gates, unseen eyes were already tracking his every move. At 12:43 noon, the Toyota Crown belonging to Ongondo pulls out of Ukulima parking. At 15:43 hours, a man who has since been identified as Isaac Kuria alias Kush, believed by the prosecution to be the gunman who pulled the trigger killing the MP. Here, he is seen carrying a black sling bag. He alights from the co-driver's door and walks along Parliament Road towards Family Bank. To passerby, he is just another pedestrian in the city. But to detectives reconstructing the final hours of Charles Ongondo, this quiet walk would become one of the most chilling frames in a carefully unfolding plot. At 15 hours, the motor vehicle KZ 645Z is driven towards Family Bank, followed by the same motorcycle rider. Both motorcycle and the KZ park in front of the Cooperative Bank. At 15:21:07, KZ 645Z and the motorcycle 30 hours, the same vehicle, KDM 783A, a Toyota Crown for the MP, is seen parked at the Family Bank opposite to Bunge Towers. The moments that hold slowly and calculative disrupts the life of the second-term member of Kasipul constituency comes at 15:44 hours. The CCTV shows a motor vehicle KZ 645Z, which we have established belongs to an assistant commissioner of police. KTN has established that the motor vehicle KZ was sold to the police commissioner for 300,000 shillings. On the day Ongondo was to be eliminated, a suspect identified as William Imoli alias Imo allegedly borrowed the vehicle to facilitate the killing. The car can be seen being driven along Harambe Avenue towards Parliament Road in the direction of the Family Bank, followed by a motorcycle rider dressed in a blue reflective jacket, bluish trouser, yellowish shoes and helmet. Motor vehicle KZ 645Z is of significance. Investigators believe it was not just another car, but the vehicle that was transporting MP Ongondo killers with others on the motorbike. 45 to 16:22:33 hours. A man dressed in a checked shirt, blue trouser and brown boots, carrying a black sling bag, alights from the motor vehicle KZ. He crosses Parliament Road towards where the Toyota Crown is parked, spends approximately 2 minutes near the vehicle, then walks back via Cooperative Bank, crosses the road and returns to the vehicle. This is the point where the investigators say Ongondo's bodyguard Alan Omondio met with the man who is being accused of shooting the MP. At 16, 18, 19 hours, the motorcycle rider leaves the parking, rides around and returns to Harambe Avenue, parking within Equity Bank parking. At 17:27:02 hours, the same man alights again from the co-driver's door. And walks towards Uhuru Highway past the Parliament main entrance. At 17:35:58 to 17:37:04 hours, the same man is captured walking back past the Parliament entrance towards the vehicle. At 17:37:10 hours, the man returns to the vehicle. At 8:04, the victim's vehicle passes Museum Gate, followed by the same motorcycle. At approximately 19:26 hours, around the Senate Gate, motor vehicle KZ 645Z makes a U-turn at Museum Gate and follows the victim's vehicle. At 19:26:55 to 19:27:15, Ongondo's vehicle proceeds towards City Hall, followed by the motorcycle and the KZ 645Z. At the Standard Building in Wabera Street now at 19:39 hours, a white saloon vehicle is captured along Wabera Street, followed closely by a motorcycle carrying two assailants. The motorcycle stops a few meters ahead. A male wearing a maroon Marvin cap, whitish long-sleeved shirt, black sling bag, bluish trousers, and brown boots alights and walks past the M-Pesa shop. At the Wabera Street now, a man in a suit who has been identified as the MP bodyguard enters the M-Pesa shop and exits shortly thereafter. The killer, who was already armed, was marauding within the city, baying for the MP's life. Here, he retreats, making a phone call. At 19:21:24, the suspect returns after Ongondo's bodyguard leaves the shop and boards the vehicle. At 19:21:42, the suspect hurriedly boards the motorcycle, which follows the vehicle beyond the camera's view. At 19:31:02, a white Toyota Crown is captured along Valley Road, followed by a motorcycle carrying 1 pillion passenger, wearing a maroon Marvin cap, black and white checked shirt, and black sling bag. At this point, only one vehicle separates the killers from Ongondo's vehicle. This is the time the MP would be shot in cold blood while his vehicle was stopped at the traffic light near the city morgue roundabout along Gong Road. The killers finished Ongondo where there was no CCTV cameras. All the CCTV were dead asleep. Every lens along the route remained silent, blind to the crime. Were the killers privy to this?
He left, I think, to commit an offense. So we are waiting for that ruling tomorrow. And I want to tell the PS for Insecurity, Raymond Omolo, to stop misusing the police, number one. Number two, to stop misusing our youth. We see him going around Kisumu, other parts of Nyanza region, building 1 or 2 houses for widows. He's the one creating these widows. He created so many widows during Ongondo Were's time. He created so many widows when they were going for by-elections. In Kasipul. He created so many widows, even including yesterday. Yesterday, there's a widow that was left there. Tomorrow you will see him going to construct a house for that widow. So my brother, Ongondo Were was assassinated. You remember that? His main PA, called Calvo, whom Raymond Omolo employed at Lake Basin. Are you aware that he was arrested because he's the one who was planning and executed the assassination of Ongondo. Are you aware of that? So, my brother, these things are being organized by the state for the best interest of the state.
Kind of something that, you know, Gladys Wanga is trying to please the late Ongondo, who was also a very bad man. So sorry to say that, because you know how many people he tortured and how many people. There's even a family whose daughter is not known where it is up to now.
What do you mean?
Yeah, there's a daughter, Apondi, you know that case, that the family were not even able to bury their daughter. If Ongondo killed the daughter, he could have even dumped the body somewhere so that the police would pick the body and take to mortuary, so that the family can claim the body. These are things that when we say, people think that we are joking or we are not serious with what we are saying. So what I'm trying to say, Ogweno,
and you know you are a wakili, you are an advocate.
Yes, I know.
You don't just speak.
No, that is why I'm talking about this thing, because they are facts. I don't just speak.